In this video I'm going to make some lasagna. I got the inspiration from another cook. I guess I can call myself a cook. I'm reasonably good most of the time. I've subscribed to his channel. I think he subscribed to mine also. He goes by the name of Troy's Southern Cooking, also known as Space Cowboy TX. If you're on my YouTube channel, well, first off, if you're not on my YouTube channel, right down here below the videos somewhere, here's my CookNGobble name. You can click on that. It should take you to my YouTube channel. Once you're there, go off, look on the right hand side of your screen down over here in that direction. There should be a link to Troy's Southern Cooking. And this is going to be a variation, fairly similar, but a variation of the lasagna he made. I am going to use some green onions and chives. These are the green onions, obviously. The green end is the chives. The white end is the onion. Really difficult to figure out there. I'm going to use some fresh, reasonably fresh mozzarella. What I'm going to do to try to make this, I don't think anything is going to make lasagna known as a health food, but we can at least cut some of the calories. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use a mixture of half ricotta cheese and half plain yogurt. The reason is the ricotta cheese, for a quarter cup, it has 80 calories. For the yogurt, for a quarter cup, it's about 35 to 40 calories. So I can cut the total calories from these two ingredients pretty much in half, and the taste is going to be about the same. You probably won't notice a lot of difference, if any at all, because there's going to be so many flavors in this lasagna. I'm going to use some Asiago cheese. One reason I like it is it's cheaper. Generally it's cheaper than Romano and Parmesan. This is the real McCoy. Same thing with the Parmesan and the Romano. If you can get the wedge or the stuff that's not pre-grated, or if it is pre-grated, make sure it's the real thing. Don't buy that stuff that comes in a plastic cylinder with a shaker top on it. That stuff's not really very good. Spend a little extra money, at least once in your life. Spend a little extra money. Buy the real McCoy, buy the real Asiago, buy the real Pecorino Romano, buy the real Parmesan Reggiano cheese. It tastes a million times better than that stuff in those plastic flip-top, shaker-top bottles. I won't name the brand name, but you know what I'm talking about. Get the real thing. At least once in your life, spend the money, get the real thing. You should at least try it at least once. And I'm going to make, rather than buy I have had some store-bought pasta sauces that are very good. Very good. I'm going to make a really simple, easy one with just some tomato sauce and some ingredients I'll show you in just a bit. The reason being, in just about anything that's pre-made, pasta sauces, spaghetti sauce, anything that's pre-made like those, is they've got preservatives and additives and stabilizers and food colorings and emulsifiers and whatever. I choose to not use that as much as possible. Sometimes it may not be avoidable, but you got to do what's best for you. It's difficult to make every single thing from scratch, I know. So make as many things as you can from scratch and make some healthier choices, better choices if you can, when you can. So I'm going to use the same brand of noodle like Troy did. I like this brand, it's Barilla. I'm going to boil those in my rice cooker. You may have seen that in another video. They work great for boiling pasta and whatever the case may be. What I've got going here, this is approximately a half a pound of ground beef and half a pound of, I'm using spicy Italian sausage. I've already pre-cooked it. It's cooled down. I cooked it yesterday actually. I'm heating it back up now. It's just starting to get warm. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. You'll see in a minute. I'm going to add some spices and seasonings and mix it all together and use that in the lasagna as well. And I'll probably chop some of these chives up and add them to the cheese, pretty much like Troy did. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Mushrooms, mushrooms. I'm going to use some cremini mushrooms. I'm going to put a couple of layers of those into the lasagna as well. I'm rambling a lot here, I guess, in a way, but some of these things I think are kind of important. Over the years, I run into some people that say, well, you can't do that. That's not authentic. That's not traditional. You know, you're cooking the food, you're going to eat it. Make it the way you want it. Don't worry about traditional. Don't worry about authentic. You're cooking it, you're eating it. Make it the way you want it to be. Try some different flavors. Try some different ingredients. You're going to eat it. You might as well make it the way you like it. So use this, all my videos, use them as a starter guide to get you going. And then you can try different things, different flavors, different ingredients to make it the way you like it best. I'm going to do some chopping and grating and slicing and dicing and cooking and all that. So I'll be back in a few seconds when I get it more organized and we'll go from there. Be right back. Hey, I've got the oven heating up. I'm going to cook at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Why 375 degrees Fahrenheit? Well, the reason is I've decided I'm going to use one of these, I guess it's plastic. It's a special oven-proof type of a plastic container. And it's rated safe to use up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to use 375 because the way ovens work, you set it at 375 and it's going to heat up to 380, 390 degrees, and then it'll shut off and it'll cool down to around 360, 365, then it'll kick back on and heat up again. So the temperature you set the oven at, 375, is actually the average temperature that it's going to be. It's not going to, in an electric oven anyways, like I'm using, the 375 is the average temperature. It's going to go higher, it's going to drop lower, but it's going to average 375. That's why I'm going with 375 and not a higher temperature. If you have a gas oven, it should hold the temperature pretty consistent because that's the way gas ovens work. But this is the can of tomato sauce that I just opened up, and I'm going to just, like I say, keep this really simple for you. I'm going to use, this is white pepper. Black pepper is fine. I've got plenty of white pepper, so I'm going to use white pepper. I'm going to use approximately a tablespoon. Actually, I'm going to use approximately a teaspoon of white pepper. A little bit more, I think. I'm going to use approximately a teaspoon of onion powder. And this is a turmeric. It's not, try to get the light on that just right. It's not a Italian spice, it's more from India and that type of the world. But the reason I'm using it is it's been said that it has some very good health properties, especially for men. It may have cancer fighting properties. The studies they've done have shown that men in that part of the world that eat these particular spices have a significantly lower likelihood of some types of cancer. So it's pretty cheap. I'm going to go with maybe like 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's pretty cheap, so I'm going to add it. I add it to as many things as I can that I'm cooking. Garlic powder, about a teaspoon, roughly. And again, like I say in most of my videos, if you don't like certain ingredients, you don't like garlic or whatever, just don't use it. Just leave it out. It's okay. If you like lots of it, add more. I was gonna get fresh garlic, but I was not feeling good and everything. Anyways, I just totally spaced out buying it when I was at the store. But I always keep some dried powdered stuff on hand, so it'll work out fine. I'm gonna add a little bit of oregano. When you have types of spices like this where they're, you know, the powders, you can't do too much with them. But these type here, smell it. Hold it close to your nose and smell it. I know that may sound kind of silly, but you know, go ahead and smell it. And it's going to smell like oregano, obviously. But now, take that and pulverize it. If you have a mortar and pestle, you can use that. Just really pulverize it in your between your fingers. And now smell it again. It's going to be much more pungent, much stronger smell. That helps to release some of the flavors better in that. You could use a small bowl and use a spoon to crush it in a bowl with a spoon if you like. Whatever works best for you. And I'm going to add a little bit of basil. Again, maybe about a teaspoon. Again, I forgot to get the fresh basil. You know, sometimes you just, well, you don't feel good and everything. But in any case, I'm just going to bring this up to simmer. I'm not trying to get it boiling or anything. I just want to bring it up to simmer. Just mix the ingredients together and bring it up to simmer is all. So on to the burner that goes. Here's the Italian sauce, spicy Italian sausage, and the ground beef that I pre-cooked yesterday. I'm going to add a little bit of water, not much, just a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle a little basil in there, some garlic powder, and I'm going to add some cumin to this. It's got plenty of spices already from the spicy Italian sausage, but I like to add a little extra. And I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of turmeric to this also. And I'm just going to put it back on the burner. Let it, might need a little bit more water in there, we'll see. I'll let it go for a bit. Let it all blend together and get the flavors going. On the onion part of the onions, as opposed to the green part, which is the chives, I'm just going to do a little bit of little slices. I'm not even going to measure it, or I'm just going to go ahead and cut these down. Now I'm getting a little bit into the chive area, but this is a little bit of still a little bit of the thicker part of the onion area. Of course, it all is onion. When you get right down to it, chives are onions, onions are onions, obviously. There's a little bit of a tiny flavor variation. Some people say they can't taste it, others can, but it's all good. I'm just going to take these and add them to the meat mixture. You can add more or less, whichever you like. One thing about making lasagna, the meat really adds all the flavor, obviously. But I'm trying to add more vegetables to make it lean a little bit more in the direction of being not healthy, but perhaps less unhealthy would be a better way to put it. Good flavors too. Let that finish up there. So my pasta water is pretty much ready to go. It's at a light boil. And what I'm going to do is, this is the ricotta cheese. I'm just going to roughly take about half of this container. And these are the green part, the chives that I just chopped off the other end of those onions, those green onions. I'm going to add those to the cheese there. And then I'm going to again eyeball it so it's just about an equal amount of plain yogurt. That looks fairly close to being 50-50. And just mix it together. Yeah, it'll work just fine. Well, the meat mixture with the onions is doing really good. I'm going to go ahead and pour it off to this container here. Set that aside for the time being. And in the same pan, I'm going to go ahead and saute up a bunch of these mushrooms. Now, if you want, you can mix it right in with the meat mixture, or you can put them in the sauce like Troy did. That's fine. That's not a problem at all. I want to put a kind of a layer of mushrooms in the lasagna, so I'm going to do them separately. A little extra virgin olive oil. Touch of salt, some fresh black pepper, I like lots of pepper. Yeah, the mushrooms are done. They're not cooked all the way through, but that's okay because they're gonna finish cooking all the way through in the lasagna in the oven. Lasagna? How about lasagna? So, I'm ready to go ahead and start putting this thing together. So I'm getting mighty hungry. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a spray just to make it a little easier. And I've already cut these noodles. Whoops. Let's not do that. Actually, first thing I want to do is put a little thin layer of sauce on the bottom. Spread it around a little bit. Don't need a lot. I just want to put a little barrier between the noodles and the bottom of the pan, so that they soak up the flavor from the sauce and they don't stick. It won't be quite as likely to stick. Anyways, I've cut the noodles to about the right length here for this particular pan. Pretty close. Just going to go ahead and overlap them just a hair there. A little bit of sauce on top of the noodles. And the meat mixture, just going to go ahead and shake some on there. You don't have to layer this in any particular order, although I like to put a little bit of sauce on each side of the noodles. That way the noodles will absorb some of the sauce and the flavor that way. But from there, you pretty much whatever you feel like will work for you. Whatever makes your taste buds tell you to hurry up. This is some of the grated Asiago cheeses. I just showed you a little earlier, and I've grated some up. And some ricotta. When you stack these layers, and it'll press it down and spread that out. Plus, while it's cooking, it'll start spreading and settling in there. So you don't have to put it out perfectly smooth over everything. Just get generally a good coating so that when it does spread out, it'll spread out very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of sauce on there. And then again with the noodles, I'm not sure this is going to be terribly important, but I'm going to do a cross pattern. The first layer I put in this direction, so I'm going to turn these the opposite direction. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference, but it might make it a little bit more structurally sound when you go to cut it later on. Again, a little bit of sauce on the noodle side. And once again, the remainder of the meat mixture with the onions. Put some more Asiago here. You know what? Those mushrooms are pretty hot. Who would have ever guessed that they were hot, huh? Yeah. I can spread them out. Might as well do it the smart way, huh? Why not? It won't hurt to not burn my fingers, but it will hurt if I do burn them. Okay. And now with some of the mozzarella. These are pretty thick. It's pre-sliced and they're pretty thick. So I'm I'm not going to pack it real tight. Yeah, press it down a little bit. Again, just a little bit of sauce here. I almost lost track of which direction the noodles were going. Okay, and once more, getting tired of hearing that probably. Just a little sauce on top of the noodle. Going to go with a little more of the ricotta mixture with the yogurt. And the chives in there, of course. A little more Asiago. I like to put a little bit of sauce right on the edges to make sure those noodles don't get dried out. Sometimes they'll get a little bit crispy, and that's good. They get a little bit of crispy right on the edges, but I don't want them burned. So just a little bit of sauce there. And just because I felt like it, a little bit of fresh ground pepper on top. Because this pan can be a little wobbly, and because it could cook over and boil over and make a mess, I'm going to use a baking pan underneath it. It'll make it easier to take it in and out of the oven, and if it does spill over, it'll make it so it won't make a big mess in my oven. So, into the oven now. It'll take about 30 to 40 minutes maybe. I'll check it and see. Everything is cooked, so just really basically all you need to do is just get it really good and hot. Let all the cheese melt together and all the ingredients melt and come together real good there. So I'll be back in a few seconds when it's done. Well, it's ready. Let me get her out of the oven. Well, that was about 25 minutes that it took. Need to let it cool down. Like I said, see, you get a little bit of crispy on the edges sometimes there. It's kind of nice, actually. I like it. Some people don't, some people do. That's okay. But it needs about 10, 15 minutes to cool down and relax. If you try to take it out now, there's a good chance it's going to fall apart on you. So while it's cooling down, I'm going to make some garlic bread. I've just got some French bread I've sliced up here. Put a little, this is some of that, it's a 50-50 mixture of extra virgin olive oil and butter. It helps cut the calories a little bit, cut the fat a little bit, and give you some of the benefits of the olive oil. And it works. I like it. You might try a different mixture ratio. If you don't like it 50-50, you can adjust it to suit your own personal taste. Just put a little bit of the butter mixture on each side. And I'm just going to shake a little garlic salt on it. And in about 10 more minutes, we should be all ready to go. Well, I think it's time. Gonna put a little bit of sauce on the plate to start with. Quite tasty. There we go, a little homemade lasagna with some garlic bread. I think I forgot to say earlier that the ground beef I used was 94% lean. If you like to use a fatter, higher content fat ratio, that's okay. I like to go with as lean as possible. Let me zoom in for you. There we go. And if you want, finish it off with a little bit of fresh chopped chives. Give it a try. It's not that hard. It's a few extra steps, but it's well worth the effort. Guarantee you're going to like it. Check out mine, or take a look at Troy's on Troy Southern Cooking. We'll see you next time on Cook and Gobble videos.